Any new information there?
Yeah, what's interesting there was that they're continuing to look at some other factors besides the pilot that could have contributed to this thing. There was talk about the glide path indicator. Let me talk a little bit about what that is. So San Francisco has become an important global business hub. It's expanding, and this airport has been expanding. This international terminal behind me is a somewhat new addition, as is Terminal 2 here in San Francisco, completely remade. And so as part of that expansion, the airport pushed through a very controversial runway expansion to accommodate these kinds of transcontinental flights, these trans-Pacific flights, like these regular flights that come in from Seoul, such as the one that crashed here today. That's involved runway expansion, and during the runway expansion, they've turned off one of the older safety measures, which was called the glide path indicator. It was a way for the pilots to essentially get some help as they were coming into the landing to see exactly where they were. Now, there are many other safety devices, and pilots have told us that that's not the most important thing that they would use, but it's one more thing, one more piece of information they might have had that they did not have yesterday. Obviously, lots of flights are landing safely without it. This one did not. That's something it sounds like they're looking at here.
Okay, Cory, thank you very much. Cory Johnson there at the San Francisco International Airport. Peter Cook, I'm going to bring you in now from D.C. I just heard the spokesperson say they're waiting to interview some of the crew. What could that change?
Well, that could change pretty much everything, because we've all been waiting to hear about those conversations with the pilots themselves, the 4 crew members who were there in the cockpit, who all survived this crash. The fact that they haven't spoken with them yet is, again, an indication, as you just heard from the chairman, Deborah Hersman, an indication of the kind of collaboration they're trying to get with their international partners. The South Koreans, they wanted to let them get to California to be able to be there for these conversations. This is very sensitive stuff, of course, for the airlines involved and for these countries involved, and so they want to be as careful as they can to cater to the South Koreans and give them the same opportunity to hear exactly what the pilots have to say. But it has been some time since this crash happened, and if this had happened with a domestic carrier here in the United States, did not involve an international carrier, you can be sure that it's quite likely the pilots would have already been spoken to by federal investigators. Hasn't happened yet. Everyone's waiting to see that, if that happens, perhaps as soon as today. So I think what really I took away from Deborah Hersman, she's very deliberate at these news conferences. She doesn't like to offer up a lot. What she's offering up so far, Deirdre, in every single press conference so far, is that there's no indication of any malfunction on the plane. Nothing they've come across yet indicates it was broken, was not working properly. And by saying that, she is, in and of itself, suggesting again that maybe the fault may lie with the pilots. She's not saying that explicitly, but that's what the takeaway will be from a lot of aviation safety experts as they listen to what she's saying so far. There aren't any other explanations at this point, but obviously we're waiting to see a whole host of testing and things like that. Investigation still needs to happen, and she'd be the first to say that.